Paul T. Goldman, because you said, talk about something that's like crazy and a fun look and doesn't take itself too seriously. This is a very odd show with just like this crazy storyline. Talk about that, and congratulations because you do an amazing job on that show. Clearly referenced by your friend saying you do an amazing job. I want you in my next movie. So, but talk about the experience on that show and what it's like, because it is out there. Talk about your character and what that's like.
It's an odd show, and the interesting experience about that show that I auditioned, and I had like the scenes, and so it was scripted all, and then I show up on a set and I see cameras everywhere, and I was like, okay, what's going on here? And and I look at the call sheet and I see this guy Paul T. Goldman is the star of the show, and I'm like, Googled him, and I was like, I don't know, he's a writer. I was like, okay, so. I meet him next to the trailer, and we start talking, and then somebody comes and it's like, do not talk to him off the camera. I was like, okay. The first time. So it's kind of like, so it was like very kind of like, I didn't even know what to think. It's like, I don't know what's going on, because like it's supposed to be like this like scripted show, but then it's just like, what's going on? And then we start filming, and I see like, it just like stops and like asks like you personal questions, and you kind of like, I was like, oh, so we filming everything. And so it's like, okay. So, and that was like the first day. This is when, actually, first of all, it's like, I love the part because it was like based on a true story. And also, I am a mail order bride in reality. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's like I'm playing myself. So, and then I did share this story with Jason, director, and he was very excited. He's like, oh, we did not know about that. So this is the first day I kind of was like, oh, okay. So we go in like a very interesting way. And so until the end, I had no idea what is like the actually main storyline and what is we're shooting. And I just saw that like we're shooting everything. And actually just I talked to First ID, because the show is submitted for your consideration. And like, I'm absolutely grateful. So I just went to this screening, and I talked to First ID Jason, and he said he was asking Jason, director, I said like, so what is the main storyline? Is it like scripted or is it unscripted? And he's like, oh. So like only at the premiere I actually saw the full picture, but like during the filming I did become friends with Paul, and it's like we did get connected on the kind of like, Paul is a dreamer, and I really love that about him. I mean, it's like that's connects in me, this like part of dreaming, and he's into meditation, and so we connected on that. And he does have very beautiful, bright spirit. But then it's like I watched the show, and especially episode 4, and it's like then you see what actually Paul did. It did take, I was like, wow. It's like that was like seriously stuff that it was hard for me to step over. And I'm thinking, is this guy my friend? Like, who is this person?
Yeah.
It was like really dark stuff. Then it's like it's something that. Like that he wrote the letter and like totally faked it. It was just some very like, and it's like, he was so sweet to me, but it's like attitude towards women. So there's a lot of things that Jason brought up to light kind of for all of us to reflect on. And not only Paul's behavior, but all of us, it's just happens that we see Paul's life under a microscope, but I think it's like nobody's perfect. And seeing Paul's reaction to this, and how when he got caught, how this human reaction, how is it like he's trying to wiggle out, and then it's like accepting the end. And I thought that was very beautifully done, the end of the show, that it's like his acceptance that he's human, and it's like, yes, it's like he made this mistake, but hopefully he will grow out of that. I thought it was like it's such an odd show, but such a beautiful storytelling. I think it's a brilliant storytelling. And seeing that Jason and Paul became such a great friends, they were filming it for 10 years, like this whole thing. And it's like for Jason to show not such a good side of Paul, And this conversation at the end where they like then they facing each other, that was just such a beautiful, I don't know, this beautiful moment. And for me, like I had a lot of, we talked about mental health, I had a lot of like issues with my mother. Like now we like kind of healed and I feel healing. But seeing Paul and his family and his dad and seeing what is this all rooted in, like this never was accepted by his dad. And that's why that's what for me that I took from the show. That's why the whole life he was trying to kind of like be accepted by his dad. And that's such a like that brought so much tears in my eyes. And I was watching it. Then he kind of like leaned and sat on the ground in front of his dad, kind of like begging for this acceptance. And the dad was still not give him. And I don't think not because he doesn't love him, but that's his different love language or something. But the whole begging and like the whole show, I think it was kind of like him trying to prove like, dad, this, that. It was just absolutely heartbreaking. And, you know, I think it's such a fascinating psychological study, like of Paul's characters, like people around him. I just like, yeah, it's like absolutely brilliant.